Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Smoking DJ. Today we're working with beef ribs. We've already started the process. I have one of my first videos was regarding beef ribs and how to prep it, how to take off the membrane on the back side of the ribs, how to clean up the fat. So we've already gone for the 3. Right now we're gonna do the 2. The 2 is the wrap, which is when you wrap it in aluminum foil with your brown sugar, whatever extra seasoning you want to put on there. So I'll show you guys a picture of before and after on the back side when I took off the membrane. I'll post it right now. Okay, so that was again, that was one of the rib racks that was cleaned. They're 4 bone racks, so I just cleaned them. I like to go through and take off all the membrane, plus in addition clean off the bone. I think the first 3 hours, again, you got to put it with the bone down, and it allows the smoke to get in between the bone and the meat, and it makes it a lot more tender, which is what we're looking for, real tender beef ribs. And then also, so after that, what you do, you go ahead and season it. I use John Henry, a maple rub on one of the racks, and then I used a honey hog rub from Meat Church. And let me show you guys that picture. Okay, so again, after smoking it for 3 hours, we now have these beauties right here. And I have one tray, which is, I'll show you guys. Look at that. I mean, look at that pullback, right? And the pullback comes from it not being attached so much with the membrane in the back, right? If you guys keep the membrane in the back, it'll kind of keep them stretched out. But then you got to kind of like pull it off when you're eating. So I like to keep it clean. So what we do now, I already set up my foil here. Okay, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna have some butter. I'm gonna have a layer of brown sugar, some honey, and then some Coke. Eventually, I'm gonna put all this here, both front and back, and then I'll go through and wrap it up, put it back in the smoker. It'll be in the smoker for 2 hours, and then I'm gonna use the same sauce, the same jus that I get from the meat, and make the glaze. So it'll be a sweet glaze that we're using today. I'm not gonna use any barbecue at all. So let me show you guys how to set this up with the brown sugar and the butter. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna start off with the brown sugar. What you wanna do, you wanna just lay it down. Make sure you have enough on here and spread it out. You want it as wide as your ribs are. Okay, so again, if you don't want it too sweet, don't put as much. Since I am gonna use this in the sauce, I'm going to put quite a bit in here. Okay. Right after that, you just want to lay down a couple slices of butter. I went ahead and I used Kerrygold butter, which is really good. So do that. And then lastly, honey. There we go. It's kind of stuck here. And you just want to do a quick drizzle. Okay. Once it starts coming out, start shaking this out. Just like that. And remember, everything you do to the top, you got to do to the bottom. So I'm going to grab my first rack here. And now we're going to do meat side down. So I'm going to flip these over. There we go. And again, you want to keep this where the meat is. You don't want to, there you go. And again, what I was talking about, cleaning out the bones. So again, see, clean off the membrane off the bones, clean out the excess fat. And that's where you have that beautiful pullback. I mean, look at that. It's about 2.5, 3 inches, which is fantastic, right? So same thing, you want to grab my fingers nice and clean real quick. Want to do some the brown sugar in the back. There we go. Do this. There we go. I'll cut these and kind of put them in between the meat, not exactly on the bone itself. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. And then a little bit of the honey again. This is just organic honey that I got here from a farm. Really good. You use whatever honey you guys like, or don't use it. It's up to you guys, right? I like the honey taste. So, and then we'll go with the Coke. You want to make sure I have a tray underneath here. Okay. Which helps with keeping the sauce on, which is going to be the Coke. And just go ahead and kind of pour this over. I like to go over the ribs. There we go. Beautiful. And see, you have a little pull action going. And then you just bring up one side. Bring up the other side. Put it right here and bring it down. You want to make sure it's kind of tight, because the purpose of the foil is to steam the meat now, right? With the sauces and everything we put in there. What you want to do, you want to get it in there nice and tight. Not too tight because you could rip through the foil. And this is the extra large foil that I have, not the regular household one. It's they sell extra large one. They call it heavy duty or whatnot. Like that, you're able to wrap. So no leaks, no nothing. So I'm gonna move that aside. I'm gonna do the exact same thing with this other rack. So I'll be back once we have this other rack taken care of. We'll go out to the smoker, put it on there for 2 hours, and I'll show you guys that. See you in a bit. All right, so both of these are wrapped already. Again, trying to keep them nice and tight without going through and ripping them because of the bone. Gonna take them out. The meat side is down now, so I'm gonna place some meat side down on the smoker for 2 hours, and then I'll pull them, and then we'll glaze them again with the same sauce. We're gonna have to render down a little bit, get the fat out of there, and then just use the actual good sauce. So we'll show you guys that process once I get there. So gonna put these babies back on the smoker for 2 hours. You wanna keep it at 225, and then see you guys then. Okay. All right, so it's been 2 hours exactly from when we put the ribs inside the foil, meat down. Just pulled them right now. I'm going to show you what we have here. Really important whenever you're pulling them off. I have my little spatula. You can use the big tongs, but this one works really good because you can stick it kind of all the way through, like so, and it handles it. So what we're gonna do is look at those juices right there. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but it's gonna be so good. What we're gonna do is open up one by one. Oh wow! Show you guys here. So open up the ribs here. Okay, show you guys a little better. And you want to be super careful because obviously they're still gonna be hot. And what we want to do is save the juices. So with my spatula, I don't want the bones to fall off yet. There we go. There we go. So I'm just going to place it there, and then get a bowl and all the extra juices that you have. Grab these and we're going to put them in this bowl. Okay, and then move that aside. Move this here. There we go. And moving on to the next one. So, beautiful. Oh, look at, I don't know if you can see this bone. Well, that bone's gone. So that one just completely fell off. We'll try to keep it on there, but super hot, be careful. If you guys have some sort of gloves, food handling gloves, feel free to use them. There we go. Very good. And again, try to save the juices. And here it got stuck. And again, that's just the juices, the meat juice, the brown sugar, butter, Coke. All right, and we're gonna reuse it to make that glaze. So the next thing you guys are gonna need is gonna be one of these little sifter things. What it does is separates the fat from the actual liquid, the juice that we're gonna use. Just pour it in there. That was perfect. Look at that. I mean, that's quite a bit there. A couple cups, a little bit over 2 cups here. Okay. So little by little, what's going to happen is the fat's going to rise to the top, and then all the good juice is going to go to the bottom here. And then we'll just take this off, and all the good juice comes out from the bottom, out the spigot, and we'll put it back in here. Okay. And then we have a pan already, pot warming up on the actual stove, we're gonna add a little bit extra Coke just to give it that stickiness, to thicken it up. Give us a couple seconds here for it to separate a bit more, and then we'll show you how we go through, warm it up to render, and then thicken it up for us to use it as a glaze on the ribs. Okay, give us about 5-10 minutes. All right, so we've let it sit for a couple minutes here. It's been about 5 minutes. I have my setting here on low, on super low actually. Let me see if you can see that. Just the lowest setting that you can't have on your burners here. Have the Coke. Just gonna throw maybe a quarter of a cup in here. There we go. So got a quarter of a cup there. I'll show you guys what's going on. And again, we have the fat separator. If you guys don't have one of these, what you guys could do is use a spoon and just use a regular measuring cup, kind of just go from the top and take that out until you think that you have nothing but good juice, right? So again, you know, that's all the fat right there. Let me move this here. There we go. So you can just go here and then start little by little taking off. That's all just the fat from the meat. So before this continues to burn, what we want to do, get all the good juices, and don't stop, right? You just want to kind of start pouring. You can see the fat is up here. It's about a quarter cup of fat. And you want to make sure you keep your eye on it so that it doesn't mix in with the good juice. And there we go. And see, it just leaves the fat there. So that's what we want. We want to keep this again on a low. You can eventually move it up to a medium if you want it to work a little bit faster, which I'm actually going to do because it's quite a bit of juice. So I'm going to get this up here, get it up to a boil to ensure that we're able to get this done and put the ribs back on the grill here. All right, so the sauce is now boiling. That's kind of what you want to do. The boiling helps get the water out of the sauce. So you want to make sure that you stir it ever so often to make sure that it doesn't stick or burn. But you do want to let it boil for a little bit. And then little by little start looking at it to see the viscosity, to see if it's still very, very fluid or if it's thickening, which is what we want. We want to go ahead and glaze it up. So again, it's not a lengthy process, but it does take a little bit to get this one done. But the rewards are fantastic. So we're going to keep doing this for about maybe 10 minutes or so. Just letting it thicken, letting that water evaporate. And then all we'll be left with is that sweetness of the sauce. And then we're going to use that to go through and coat our ribs and put them back for the last hour of our 3-2-1. And then we'll enjoy them. Okay, so we'll be back once this gets a little bit thicker. And we'll show you the end result. And how we're going to go through and brush it onto our ribs. You see that? That's what you want. You want that boil. You know, one trick that I forgot to mention is a good way to test the viscosity is with a spoon. So a spoon, let me stir this real quick. So what you can do with the spoon is actually look at the sauce itself, and if it just comes off like that without leaving any type of glaze on the spoon, then it's still thin, right? Once it becomes a glaze, it'll be super thicker and it'll leave a coating on the spoon. So it's good to have a spoon to kind of test out how you're looking on the thickening of the sauce before you think you're done, and then you got to put it back on because it's too thin. So just want to throw that tip in there. Okay, so we went ahead and we finished off. Let me show you guys. I just transferred it over to a small little bowl here. Show you guys the viscosity. So that's kind of what you want. Look at that. It's a good thickness. You don't want it to be too thick, but you want it to be able to do something like this, right? So it's nice. So now what we're going to do, we're going to grab this little brush here, dip it in the sauce, and then just start lathering. Don't forget the sides. I always say that in all my videos, and every single meat you make, Do not forget the sides. The sides are part of the meat, and they need some loving as well. All right, we'll go this rack over here. You know what, I'm gonna take off this bone, just there, so I could go straight to the meat. Lace that up. Very good. And then turn them over. Whoa. Oh man, they were falling off the bone. They're so ready, but they need the sauce. They need the sauce to bind onto the meat. So it'll be about 45 minutes to an hour on the smoker again, just to go ahead and get this to bind onto the meat, and then we're going to be ready to grub these things. So don't be shy. Same thing, whether it's going to be this sauce or you're going to make or you're going to use a barbecue sauce that you make on your own or one that you buy. Make sure you put plenty of love into coating the ribs. So let's see here. There we go. Nice. So, real simple glaze. Again, we're using the juices that we that came off the meat that we used from the butter and all the other stuff. So, it's a way to save money, but then also use some of the original juice, I guess, from the meat that's just gonna put that flavor back into it with a little bit of that sugar from the brown sugar and the Coke. So. These are going to go back into the smoker for about an hour. In an hour, I will take them out, show you guys the end result, and enjoy them. All right, see you guys soon. All right, guys, it's been about an hour, 55 minutes or so. I went ahead and I pulled the ribs. They are looking fantastic. Let me cut one of these suckers off. Just this thing here. Put that down. The bind that the sauce made, I mean, look at that. Check out that rib right there. Beautiful, beautiful smoke ring. I mean, here's, oh, it's dripping. So excited to eat these. Wow. Look at that. I mean, it's just beautiful color. Texture looks great. And check out this sauce. Again, we talked about the sauce. I'll show you guys. I'll use the knife here. See that? I mean, it's a sweet sauce from the own juices. It's so good. I think I might have lost another bone. Let's see here. See how this one looks? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Super excited to. Yeah, I did lose another bone. Let's see if I can adjust it here. I'm going to cut through. There we go. And our last cut of the day. Let's do the end piece here. Woo, that's hot. Freshly off the smoker here. I mean, I can see the smoke here. It's smoking. But same thing, look at that glaze right there. They're falling off the bone. I mean, they're ready. They're ready. I'm ready. Again, for the 3-2-1 method, check out my videos. I'll see if I could go ahead and put a link in the comments to the first video on how to go through and clean off the back membrane, how to set it up. I use a mustard. I use mustard to go ahead and bind the rub originally. And, you know, we cooked them for 3 hours, bone side down, 2 hours wrapped. You guys saw with the product. And then this last hour with the homemade glaze off the juices and all the other extra stuff we put on there. So it's going to be fantastic. I'll post a picture of my plate. We got some bacon wrapped shrimp. We got some wings ready as well. So super stoked. It's going to be a great dinner. Thank you guys. Don't forget, tell your friends to subscribe. Tell them about the channel. Smokey DJ. Have a good day.